A spring morning, 1985. A 30-year-old man walked out the front door of the company he built. He had millions in his pocket. And ahead of him, nothing. His name, Steve Jobs. The company, Apple. The person who showed him the door, the CEO he himself had hired. For years, history wrote this as his greatest defeat. Years later, Jobs himself would describe it differently, as the greatest gift his life ever gave him. Now ask yourself, that moment in your life you called destruction, was it really destruction? Apple is one of the fastest growing companies on Earth. The Macintosh has just launched, a machine that will redirect the entire course of personal computing history. Steve Jobs became a billionaire at 25. 2 years earlier, he personally recruited John Scully, the president of Pepsi. He delivered that legendary line. Do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugared water, or do you want to come with me and change the world? But by 1985, the arrows have reversed direction. Macintosh sales are below expectations. Tension inside the company. Scully and Jobs are at war. The board makes its decision. It sides with Scully. First, he's stripped of the Macintosh division, then removed entirely. The man who built Apple has become surplus to Apple. The first weeks, Jobs doesn't leave the house. He would later confess, "I felt like I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to my generation." He sells nearly all of his Apple stock. He keeps a single share, so he can still attend the annual shareholder meetings. He disappears for months. He goes to Europe, walks alone. Then something ignites. He founds Next, but this time, not in a hurry, with obsession. The body of the computer must be a flawless black magnesium cube. Edges at exactly 90 degrees, no imperfections. He builds a factory for Next, but nobody buys the computers that come out of it. The obsession with perfection doesn't pay the bills. Years pass, millions burn. But in those same years, he does something else. In George Lucas's hand sits a small graphics unit that nobody believes in. They're trying to make animated films. No studio will touch them. Jobs buys it for $5 million. 1986. Its name, Pixar. For years, it bleeds money. Staff shrinks. He comes close to shutting it down entirely. And then something happens. 1995. The first feature-length film made entirely by computer enters theaters. Its name, Toy Story. $30 million in its opening week. In those same years, Jobs meets a woman at Stanford, Laurene Powell. They marry in 1991, his first real family life. If he had stayed at Apple, he may never have entered her life at all. If this channel is still new to you, every week here, we dig up the truth buried underneath a story. Quietly, without rushing. If you want to stay, stay. In those very same years, Apple is approaching the edge of bankruptcy. Without Steve Jobs, it has produced nothing revolutionary. Apple acquires Next for $429 million. Steve Jobs walks back through the doors of the company that threw him out 11 years earlier. The following year, the iMac, colorful, translucent, revolutionary. 2001, the iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket. 2007, the iPhone. It redefined what a phone could be. But none of it, not a single piece of it, would have existed if one spring morning in 1985, he hadn't been thrown out of his own front door. Stanford University commencement address. Steve Jobs says this, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. I was less sure about everything, and that freed me to enter the most creative period of my life. Here is the truth inside that sentence. Success is a cage, invisible, but real. You forget who you are, because everyone keeps telling you who you are. Being rejected, fired, failing, breaks the bars of that cage. But first, it breaks the person inside it. Psychology has a name for this: post-traumatic growth. The ego dies. A beginner's mind is born. Zen Buddhists call it Shoshin, the beginner's mind. Starting as if you know nothing. When Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, he wasn't just fired from a company. He was fired from the person he thought he was. I want you to stop for a second. Think back to the moment a door closed on you. Maybe you left a job. Maybe you were let go. Maybe someone left you. Maybe an application came back rejected. Maybe a dream ended halfway through. How did that moment make you feel? Worthless, invisible, not enough. Now look back a little. If that door hadn't closed, the person you met wouldn't exist in your life. The city you live in wouldn't be yours. The person you are today wouldn't exist at all. If Steve Jobs hadn't been fired from Apple, there would be no Pixar, no Toy Story, no iPhone. The phone in your pocket right now might be the child of a rejection. Now ask yourself, when that door closed, did you cry? Or had you already forgotten who you were, long before that door ever shut? A spring morning, 1985, a 30-year-old man walked out the front door of the company he built. He had millions in his pocket, and ahead of him, everything. He just couldn't see it yet, because some endings aren't endings at all. They're unveilings.